guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Egons and today I'll be teaching you how to make a simple wrap skirt. This skirt is always very trendy and so simple to make. No zippers, no buttons. All you need for this skirt is your fabric. So I'm going to be using 2.5 meters for this skirt. Your scissors, your fabric chalk or a fabric pen, your thread, your tape measure, and some straight pins, and of course a sewing machine, except if you want to hand stitch. So let's get started. Now for this wrap skirt, you need 2 measurements: your waist circumference and the length of your skirt. Your waist circumference refers to the measurement around your waist, and of course you also need your skirt length. You decide wherever you want the length, the skirt to end. Now if you already have these 2 measurements, your waist circumference and the length of your skirt, then we will do a little bit calculation. No worries, it's really simple. You can just use your phone to do the calculation. So let's do it together. So for this video, we will use 42 inches as our waist circumference. Now we need to calculate the radius of our skirt. But take note that this skirt has 3 panels: the back, the front, and the overlap. So the back will be 21, which is half of the skirt. The front will be 21. To get the overlap, we will need to divide the front measurement into 2, and that will be 21 divided by 2, and that is 10.5. Now we'll add all the measurements together for 21, the back, the front, and the overlap. So if we add them together, we have 52.5. So to get the radius, we will divide 52.5, which is now our waist circumference, by 3.14, and then we will get 17. So we will add 17 to the skirt length, which is 25. So now we have already calculated the radius of our skirt. For me, my radius is 17 and my skirt length is 25. So minus the waistband. If I add 17 and 25, I have 42. And so it is with that measurement 42 that I have folded my fabric into 2 equal halves. This fabric from this place to the other end is slightly longer than 42. The reason is because I need a little bit of sewing allowance for the waistband and then to make the hem. So now with our radius measurement, I'm going to place my tape just here. Take notice of it at the folded edge of the fabric. So I place my tape at the folded edge and then I mark 17. And then while I hold the tip of the tape, I keep marking 17 in order to get a circle. So you hold it and then you mark 17. And you keep doing this until you get to the other end of the folded fabric. Just like that. Now you join all the marks together. So you see, you already have the waist line. Now we need to measure the length of the skirt. So remember, we are using 42 because my radius and the length of my skirt is 42. So while I place the tip of the tape still on the folded fabric here, I'm going to measure 42. And I keep holding the tip of the tape. I continue measuring 42 down to the end, just the way we did it to get the waistline. So we do it down to the end and then we join all the dots and have another curve. We have marked all the lines, the waistline and then the hemline. So it's time to cut. But remember, before we cut, you can add half an inch to it, and that is going to be your sewing allowance. So you add half an inch to the waistline. You do exactly the same thing to the hemline before you cut. Just half an inch, and then you cut all the way through. So I'm going to cut mine now. Yep. And then I do the same thing for the hem. So that is it. So this is how the skirt is going to look. Just like this. When you finish cutting, it's going to look like this. And when you open it up, then it is a wrap skirt. All we need to do right now is to cut the band. I like to cut my band 4 inches wide. So I'm going to use the leftover fabric to cut the band. While cutting the band, make sure that you cut enough so that it will tie very well at the back. I like mine tying like a bow at the back, so I'm going to cut it really long. So I already cut the band. This is how the band looks like. I used the width 4 inches. You can cut it as long as you want. So we have our skirt and then we have our waistband. So let's get going to the sewing machine and stitch. So we are ready to start sewing our skirt. To start stitching this skirt, we need to stitch the 2 ends. So we start with the first end, and then we have to fold it. We fold it in like this, and then we fold it a second time before we stitch. We stitch all the way through down. Okay, so this is one end. We've stitched one end. We do the same thing for the other end. Now we need to attach the waistband to the skirt. And for us to attach the waistband to the skirt, we need to fold this skirt in 2 like this. And then we make a notch, or we can use a pen or a chalk to mark the center of the skirt. We do the same thing for the waist band. We fold it into 2 equal halves. Into 2 equal halves like this. And then we mark it. I'm going to use my pen to mark this. By the way, you would notice that I had already ironed my waistband. This is half an inch. I folded it in 2. Iron half an inch inside on both sides. So my waistband is ready to be attached. So now I have the middle of my waistband. So I'm going to attach it nicely to the skirt. Remember, the front side is going to face the front side, and that way you don't sew it upside down. So you're going to pin it like this and pin it all the way through. Just like that. How it's going to look like. I have pinned my waistband down like that to the end. I think I forgot to mention the fact that the waistband has to be really long so that you will have some excess to make a bow tie at the back. I usually like it that way. So we take this to the sewing machine, but first of all we are going to stitch the ends of the band. We stitch this side and we do the same for the other side before we stitch it round like that, and then we close it up and stitch this one on top. Anyways, you're going to see me doing it. So now we need to stitch, we need to close the ends of our waistband. We will need to turn it this way and then use 1/2 inch to close it up. So that's it. Now you can just make a notch here or cut it a little bit out so that it will be easy for you to turn and it will be neat. This is how it's supposed to look. You do the same thing for the other end. So we stitch our waistband to the skirt. I'm going to start from this end and then stitch it all the way down here. Okay, now that this is done, we have attached it to the skirt. We have attached the band to the skirt. We're going to cover it up nicely like this. So we'll start from the edge. We'll start from one end of the band, and then we sew it down and cover it nicely. So you see how it looks. It's well covered in front and at the back. We need to do the hem. For the hem, I usually like to overlock. You will notice that I had already overlocked it because it's easier when you overlock. You just fold it like this and then stitch instead of folding double, because with a flare it's very difficult for you to fold double, especially if you're a beginner. So it's easier for you to fold it once like this at the bottom, the hemline I mean. So you just fold it once and then you stitch down to the end. If you don't have an overlock machine, you can also use your pinky shears. People often call it the zigzag scissors. You can use the zigzag scissors and trim it so it doesn't fray. So now I'm going to stitch this, and I'm still going to use 1/2 inch to fold it, but this time I'm going to fold it just once. skirt is ready, all that you need to do is to give it a good press. So press it and that's it. This is how our finished skirt looks like. Just like this. Simple. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please leave a comment and give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and turn on notification, please, so you can know when I post the next video. Please follow me on Instagram at tregsofficial and my Facebook page tregsonline.com. Thank you. Until next time, have a blessed day.